Hi everyone, it's Sue here from Scott Properties Group. I've got Caroline Jean-Baptiste with me today. Hi Caroline.
Hi Sue.
Hi. Caroline is the owner of Mortgage Choice in Fortitude Valley in Brisbane. So just wanted to catch up with you, Caroline, just to see what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Well, it's surprisingly enough, we're still really busy. There's a lot of people looking to refinance to a better rate. Maybe they've sat on the phone to their own bank for about 3 hours and haven't been able to get the rate that they're looking for. So they come to us for really low, like there's a lot of low fixed rates, maybe with an offset account. So that offers the flexibility that they're often looking for in a variable rate. But we're also getting a lot more inquiry about buying property as well. So we've had a couple of contacts come through recently where the seller got what they were looking for, which was about 1.2 or 1.1. And there's a lot of first home buyers. We're not seeing a huge amount of discounting just yet in our demographic, which is pretty much within 10 k's of Brisbane. But there's a lot of people who are finding that this is the right time to buy. So there's people who have been sitting back in the market. They're the ones who are coming back to and are ready to buy, because there's a lot of people are unsure about their income. There's a lot of people who've had to take pay cuts, but there are a lot of people who haven't had to take a pay cut or whose industry hasn't been impacted, and they're the ones who are taking this opportunity to get into the market for a property that they've been probably eyeing off for probably maybe 6 to 12 months even.
It's quite interesting because talking to the real estate agents and with our own business as well, we're noticing that a lot of people are upsizing again because they're planning to work at home per se. They've started working at home, they love it, they know they can manage it, but perhaps their current property doesn't really give them a proper office. And they're looking to sell and then buy something bigger. So by what I'm understanding from the coast anyway, a lot of the agents are doing very well in that upper bracket. Where they're finding it tougher, if that's the right word, I don't know, is the low to medium range properties, where a lot of people are just sitting back because a lot of that group will be people that potentially may, I'm assuming, have either lost their jobs or lost hours or taken pay cuts, so it's that middle working class group. Are you finding that or not?
I think the first home buyers who are ready to go will come in and pick up that slack. There's a lot of people who are sitting on their hands because of the uncertainty with their incomes. But I am still speaking to a lot of people who've been stood down for a short period, and as soon as this is back to normal, they've got their job. So I've been to a lot of people who are preparing to do something when they start work again. So first home buyers and upgraders are in those sort of positions. So I think a lot of people are sitting on their hands, just seeing what happens over the next month or so, I'd say.
I think you're absolutely right. And as far as we're concerned, a lot of our work at the moment is doing strategy for post-COVID. So it's saying, well, when do you really want to buy? If you want to buy now, then just buy now. Nothing, there's no indicators at the moment here anyway, of Brisbane, as far as I'm aware, that there's going to be huge adjustments. I think adjustments have already been made. By talking to some of the real estate agents, they've said that, they have sort of adjusted a little just to make it more exciting for buyers to buy in this market, which is not overly detrimental to the seller, because they, as you know, invariably a property goes on the market for a lot more than potentially the sellers are going to get for it, and so it's not really detrimental to them. It's probably bringing it into just above a level where they would be prepared to accept an offer, and that's where the the conversations are really going with the real estate agents, I think, at this moment in time, chatting to their sellers, their vendors, and saying, how much do you really want to sell? And I think that's probably a lead on from the fact that at the end of last year there wasn't a lot of stock. I gather that's continuing. The stock levels are still low, but I think that's partly being driven too by the agents double qualifying why people are wanting to sell, and putting a sensible price onto those. And I'm not talking masses, perhaps 1-2%, maybe 3%. It's not huge. But I think that's part of this process, going through this with the hope that, that the buyers as well will be more confident a few months down the track and ready to go. So I think we might get a bit of a stock explosion probably come September time. I don't quite see it being before, but I haven't got a crystal ball no more than anyone else. Unfortunately, I wish I did. It would be nice. But I think that's the feeling I'm getting by talking to everyone at the moment, that a lot of, and especially people interstate that are buying, want to be up here in Brisbane or the coast for the September holidays. So I think that's a driver too. So, but on the whole, Caroline, if somebody had pre-approval for, say, I don't know, $350,000, are they dropping down? Are those valuations and things coming down? Are you seeing any changes in those, or are they all pretty much staying as they originally were?
With my customers, we're not seeing a huge change. So nobody's really said to me that they've been watching this property and it's dropped massively and they're taking advantage of that. They're not really bringing down their purchase prices. I think that they're possibly looking for something that has a little bit more in the property rather than what they were potentially looking at 12 months ago. But I agree with you, Sue, that probably come September, we'll see a lot more properties on the market. And I think a lot of these will be from investors who've made an agreement with their tenant and maybe they've found themselves out of work and haven't been able to, they're not as comfortable as they used to be, and they probably have to start consolidating.
Yeah, I think the investor market will really go. I think there'll be a lot of property, and especially on the coast. I know already, talking to people, that several of the larger sort of developments, as in unit developments or holiday developments, which still have fairly large body corporate fees, strata fees, they're the tenants, they're the owners, the landlords, who are going to say, look, we've had it for 10 years, 15 years, we've been here for a month every year, we've enjoyed it, but we could actually use that money for something else, and we'll go. So I think you might see a little bit of a fire sale on those sorts of properties, but everything else residential wise, I don't think there's going to be much change personally.
Even on the flip side of that, there will probably be more people taking domestic holidays. So rather than fees, you'll probably get that market coming in to invest back in Australia.
Yeah, and I think that once the borders get back open again, whenever that may be, I don't know, nobody knows yet. But assuming it's going to be September, October, let's just be really, hard on it. That's really when people are going to start coming back and looking and seeing that there's opportunities there, and they've delayed, but don't want to delay any longer. And I think that's going to be really good for the coast as well, and as well as the city. But I think it will be particularly good for the coast, because there will be units available and holiday homes available. So especially with the crunch with Airbnb as well as at the moment. So a lot of people are getting the effects. They've got big homes, they've got them on Airbnb, they can't do them, they can't have people in there. Yes, they can do them permanently, but that's not going to give them the money that they were earning. So I think there's a lot of dynamics that will change, I think, during this winter period through to the spring. So well, that's good. Well, I'm glad you're busy. We're all busy doing whatever it is that we're doing, and I'll probably get back to you in a sort of 6 weeks time or so, and see if anything's really changed. I mean, I will get to know obviously whether things are really changing, but I always like to have the opportunity to talk to people who are on the ground doing different work to what we're doing, which makes it all a whole. So it'd be interesting to see if that changes over a period of time. So thanks, Caroline. I really appreciate your time. I know you're busy, and we'll catch up again soon.
Thanks for having me, Sue.
Oh, pleasure. Bye for now.